everyone. Today we are talking about Worn Wanderers from Cleromancy Games. This is one of the world's first trading pen games that you can wear, but it's also a deck builder, like a CCG, like Magic the Gathering or Star Wars Destiny. So today I am joined by the Cleromancy team to take a look and talk about some of the deck building aspects within Worn Wanderers. Let's get started.
We're looking at the pin building aspect of Worn Wanderers. Every Worn Wanderers character has a pin, and that pin will be assigned power cards. You can see that here we have Rosie, and she has her top power card, which has 6 attack on the left and 11 defense or 11 health on the right. Now, when you are building a character, you're always going to select one level 1 power card, one level 2 power card, one level 3 power card, and then finally there will be a loot card. So you can see we have level 1, there's the level 2, under that is a level 3, and then finally a loot card. In this case, Rosie is guarding our 2 loot card.
Nice.
Which is of medium value. So, these are also subject to some color restrictions. If you look at the bottom of Rosie's pin under her nameplate, you'll see what we call the heraldry. Right, and the heraldry are those 4 color pips. In Rosie's case, blue, blue, yellow, yellow. So that means that when you're building your Rosie pin, you'll be restricted to 2 blue cards at most, 2 yellow cards at most, and any number of gray neutral cards. So, based on this build here, like I said, we've got the 1 blue on top, then the yellow level 2, and then a yellow level 3, and finally the loot. So, since Worn Wanderers does have an aspect of deck building, we can take this Rosie pin and we can customize her with some additional cards that are included in the starter set, or additional cards that you will be able to add to your collection through booster packs. So if you look over on the right, you can see that in addition to the 6 attack, 11 defense card, we also have 3 other level 1 cards in her colors to choose from. Now, I'll point out that if we want to keep our yellow level 2 and our yellow level 3, that's our 2 yellow pips. So we're going to have to stick with the blue. But at this point in time, we'll just open it up and we can figure out on the back end what we want her level 3 card to be or her level 2 card to be to fit that heraldry.
And this really breaks down into how you want to build your character, right? There's no, other than the color limitations, it's really how powerful you want to make her as you're building up the rest of your team, which of course we'll talk about team building later on.
Yeah, and power is, that's one way to put it, is how powerful you want your character to be. Really, it breaks down to the strategy, right? What strategy do you want your character to employ? Right, Rosie's blue aspects are really defensive and intelligent and self-preservation-y.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas she has a contrary nature, right? The yellow is a berserker and wild and very aggressive, sometimes abandon, with abandon. So
that's why I love her, but that's a wholly different. Yeah. That's a completely different conversation.
Yeah, she's not the most patient, safe fighter. So, anyways, yeah, she can swing between wildly defensive and wildly offensive, which is a cool aspect of her character.
Yep, I like that.
So, speaking of like wildly offensive, you can see that we have got a couple of different yellow cards here, and one of our cooler ones is the 2 attack, 7 health card there. And you can see it's got a couple of abilities. It's got ranged and it's got boost 10. They both alter the attack ability, and they both are over the attack stat, so they are going to be offensive. That means that when Rosie is attacking with that card, she'll have a ranged attack that goes from a 2 to a 12.
Nice.
Right, so instead of attacking as a 2/7, she's attacking as a 12/7.
Wow.
Which is pretty high for that level. Level 1 cards tend to be a little lower. So let's say that we want to open with a bang, and we say, okay, we're going to take this card for Rosie, and we're going to select that as her level 1 card. Right, we can swap that out with the blue card that we have for her. And now we know that right out of the gate, she's going to get a pretty powerful attack. We just have to hope that our opponent doesn't punch her first, because she's probably not taking them out on the backswing, right? If they attack, it's a 2/7, right? We don't have that boost 10. And 7's not particularly great health. It's okay. It's a little below average. And we're definitely not taking them out with that 2 attack. So, now that we've selected a level 1 card, right, we talked about a level 2 card, and because we've got 3 yellow cards but only 2 yellow pips, we're either going to have to swap out the yellow card at level 2 or at level 3. But I do like the 16/4 ranged, right? We didn't talk about the effect of ranged, right? Ranged allows you to deal your damage before damage is dealt back to you. So if Rosie gets into a fight with another pin using that 16/4 ranged, she can deal the 16 damage. And if that defeats the card that she's fighting, it's not going to get to deal damage back before being defeated. So she'll get away, right? Even though she's got that very low health stat of 4, right? It's the preemptive strike there that'll allow her to get away unscathed. So,
makes it a pretty enticing card to keep, right?
Yeah, it is a very powerful card, right? I mean, obviously, it's very weak to preemptive attacks, but that's kind of Yellow's thing, right? Yellow is not great at being attacked. They're really great at attacking. So let's say we keep that card instead of that 16/5 cancel that we have over on the side. Right, the stats are similar. It's just that we cancel our opponent's defensive abilities on the attack, which means that the attack can't be guarded or they can't evade it, which are some examples of defensive abilities that you'll be worried about in the game. So if you're expecting to run into some abilities and you don't have a way to deal with that, you might swap that out for that 16/5 cancel. But I'm going to say let's go crazy aggro and we'll keep that 16/4 range. But that means that when it comes to selecting her level 3 card, we're going to have to select a blue card because we have filled both of our 2 yellow pips. So we'll set that one aside and we'll grab this 10/17. Now we talked about how blue is very defensive, and that's going to be good because that level 3 card is going to be the last card on top of our loot, which means
so that's not a bad
it's
ad.
going to be the last thing. Huh?
So that's not a bad ad there.
No,
because you're protecting your loot at this point.
Yep. Yeah, our goal is to get our opponent's loot without them getting ours. So if we put that big wall right on top of the loot, that'll serve as sort of one last defense, right? We're not particularly defensive early on, right? We've probably lost a couple of cards in our wild attacks, but the 10/17 will help to kind of pump the brakes a little bit there and serve as a last-ditch effort to save our loot. Well, still having a respectable attack. 10 attack is it's low for level 3, but it's not bad when it comes to dealing with level 1 or level 2 cards. So it'll allow Rosie to catch up some of the weaker cards your opponents still have on the board. Clean them up. So there you have it. That's building our Rosie pin, right? So we would stack those cards together. We could opt for a different loot if we wanted, right? We could say, okay, well, our Rosie isn't going to survive very well, so let's only give her 1 loot. Or, okay, she's tough as nails, so let's have her guard the 3 loot, the most rare and valuable loot. But since, she's a good combo of aggro and defense, we'll stick with the medium 2, right? You're always going to have among your team of 6, 2 loots that are worth 1, 2 loots that are worth 2, and 2 loots that are worth 3. So she's kind of middle of the pack right now for defensiveness, so we're happy to have her with that too. So we're going to stack those cards in order: loot, then 3, then 2, then 1. Finally, we're going to take the pin, and we will place the post of the pin through the holes in the cards, and then we'll be free to wear it on our person, or a lanyard, or a jacket, where we will decide to place it somewhere amongst the rest of the team.
All right, and that wraps up the basics of deck building. Make sure you check out the other videos on our channel about Worn Wanderers, and be sure to watch for this one coming to Kickstarter later this fall. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. Hey, and don't forget that subscribe button over there. We would be happy to continue to show you games we think that you'd enjoy. Until next time.